will put and if not, then not. Please hear me bad. It's not working or something. So, what we're going to talk to the Parsha, and what I thought we should do at this semester is maybe to try to take every time something. We did also last year, but I would try to be more like consistent on this method, that I will try to take something from the Parsha, which is very, very specific, and to try to take it to our own personal life and to learn some kind of work that we should do with ourselves, with our own soul. So I hope we will be able to do something like this every week, to learn one more thing that we can work harder on ourselves. So this week we're going to read the Parsha of Chayei Sarah. And the topic that I chose us to talk today is how do we deal with the doubts. And I think I want to say something before. There is, like we usually say, that we need to try to learn from the character of God and from His traits. And if God is merciful, we should also try to be merciful. But what God also have in Him, He has the ability to have two things who are completely opposite to each other and to still hold them. For example, He is full of mirth, but from the other hand, He has the judgment in His hand. So we can see that there are different things in His character who are completely opposite, but He can still hold them. And what we're going to learn today is also something which is, I would say, we'll learn something in us that we should learn from God, how we should hold opposites in ourselves. So we're going to read from this parasha, from the story of this parasha. I'm going to now share with you my screen. I hope it will work well, and you can see what I'm sharing with you. And we're going to read the story about how Abraham is sending his servant Eliezer to search for his son. His son was Yitzchak, and he's not going on his own. He was already old, and he's sending his servant. And I want us to read this story and to try to ask a few questions about this story. I'll start with sharing the screen with you. Just a second. Let's see if this will work. Here. Can you see it somehow? Okay, good. Okay, great. So I brought you the text from the Bereshit. And I would read it. I hope I'll read it well. And we will ask a few questions about this story. So it starts like this. And Abraham was old, advanced in days, and the Lord has blessed Abraham with everything. And Abraham said to his servant, the elder of his house, who ruled over all that was his, please place it under my tithe, and I will adjure you by the Lord, the God of the heaven and the God of the earth, that you will not take a wife from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whom midst I dwell. So what's very important for Abraham is that Yitzchak won't marry someone that is from the people of the nation that Abraham is living among them, because Abraham was living in Eretz Israel, which back then was called the land of Canaan. Around him were from this nation of the Canaanites. And it's very important for Abraham that his son will not marry one of the daughters of this tribe or this nation. So that's why he's telling him, to his servant, you should swear to me that you are not taking for yourself someone from this nation. But you shall go to my land and to my birthplace, and you shall take a wife for my son, for Yitzchak. And the servant said to him, Perhaps the woman will not wish to go after me to this land. Shall I return your son to the land from which you came? So he's saying, okay, I'll go. Say this lady that I will find will not be willing to come with me here to the land of Canaan. Should I take Yitzchak there? And Abraham said to him, well, let you return my son back there. The Lord God of the heavens, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my birth, and who spoke about and who swore to me, saying, to your seed will I give the land, he will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. And if the woman will not wish to go after you, you will be absolved of this, my oath. Only do not return my son back there. And the servant places the tithe of his master, and he swore to him concerning this matter. So he is telling him, you should not take Yitzchak back to the other land that I came from, Aram Naharaim. No way. If you will find a bride and she will not be willing to come back to Eretz Israel, you shouldn't take Yitzchak to the other land, and you will be like the promise that you're doing for me right now will not be holding against you anymore. Okay, so let's see what happened. And the 7 camels of his master's camels, and he went, and all the best of his master in his hand. And he arose, and he went to Aram Naharaim, to the city of Nahor. Nahor was a brother of Abraham, and he made the camels inside the city beside the well of water at eventide. At the time, the maidens go out to draw water. And he said, O Lord, the God of my master Abraham, please cause to happen to me today, and perform loving kindness with my master Abraham. Behold, I am by the water fountain, and the daughters of the people of the city are coming out to draw water. And it will be that the maiden to whom I will say, lower your pitcher, I will drink, and she will say, drink, and I will also water you camels. Her have you designated for your servant, for Yitzchak. May I know that you have performed loving kindness with my master. So what we see here, he's going with many camels, many things with him. He's going to Aram Naharaim, where the family of Abraham originally lived. And before he entered to the city itself, he's stopping next to the water. And he's doing some kind of a deal with God. Let's see who you will send to me. If the girl that you will send to me, the girl that will say you should really will be the right person for Yitzchak. Let's see the end of the story, or almost the end. And now he had not yet finished speaking, and behold, Rivka came out and had been born to who had been born to the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, and her pitcher was on her shoulder. Now the maiden was of very comely appearance, and no man had been intimate with her. And she went down to the fountain, and she filled her pitcher and went up. And the servant ran towards her, and he said, please me zip a little water from your pitcher. And she said, drink, my lord. And she hastened and lowered her pitcher to her hand. And she gave him to drink, and giving him to drink. And she said, I will also draw for your camels, until they will have finished drinking. And she hastened, and she emptied her into the trough, and she ran again to the well to draw water, and she drew for all his camels. And the man was astonished at her, standing silent, waiting to know if the Lord had caused his way to prosper or not. Now it came about, when the camels had finished drinking, that the man took a golden nose ring, weighing 1/2 shekel, and 2 bracelets for her hands, weighing 10 gold shekels. And he said, whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there place for lodging in your father's house? And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor. And she said to him, both and the father are plentiful with us. There is also a place to lodge. And the man cleaned and prostrated himself to the Lord. And he said, Blessed is the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his loving kindness and his truth from my master. As for me, dying on the house of my master. Okay, I finished reading this long story. Sorry it was a bit long, but I think it's very, very important to read all the details to understand a bit better what was going on here. Now, according to this story, our rabbis are that Eliezer was a very loyal servant, and whatever he was very loyal to Abraham, and he did everything that his master told him. So I will assume that if we read the story, that means that he took what Abraham told him to do, and he did exactly what Abraham told him. And I ask you, is it true, when you read this story, did Eliezer actually follow what Abraham told him to do, or did he choose to do something different? Learn from this story specifically that he was doing something so positive. Yeah, now it's your turn to talk.
Can you show the first
paragraph?
Yeah, please.
Yes. I will also try to go to this reading mode. A second. Layout, maybe. Wait.
Review, I think.
Read mode. Okay, better?
Kind of. One doesn't really tell him how to. It was Eliezer's decision to do it.
Okay. And do you think this is what Abraham was expecting him to do?
I don't know. I'm not sure if Abraham gave him any directions to how to, yeah, not to select, but how to look for the right woman.
Okay.
He just,
I would say, yes.
I think he just said that he has to be from the family, right?
Yes.
I mean, he just said, find
yes.
a wife and bring her. He didn't say to go through all the trouble and basically testing her.
Okay. So you think he was doing too much?
Well, he... technically he was.
Okay.
But then again, he wasn't given, as Daniela said, he wasn't given exact instructions. He was told to bring a wife, but he was not told how to do so, how to find her.
Okay. I would actually say something different. Abraham gave him very, very specific directions. He told him, you should go and you should leave house. And he tells him exactly, like, this is my family. You should go to this city, to this street. This is the address. Knock on the door. Maybe there are a few girls there, but you should, pick one. It's true that he doesn't tell him how to choose the right one from this family. But what Eliezer is doing is actually something completely else. Before he even enters, he stopped outside. And he's doing this deal with God in a way that he's saying, yeah, you will send me the right one. If he's stopping outside the city, then every girl can come. Maybe the girl who will come and give him water won't be from the right family. If Abraham is telling you, go to this address, to this home, And he's taking he's taking the note where it's written and throwing the garbage and saying, okay, I'll let it happen. And in a way, I think that he was doing something who's exactly the opposite of Abraham told him. He had the instructions, and he said, I'm taking the risk in a way. If we're out of the family, and who knows if the stand is actually the right one. Okay? So even he's even saying it in Hebrew. He's saying when he's praying to God before God is sending him the woman, he is saying Hikarena lefanai hayom in Hebrew. Hikare comes from the word mikre. He's God. Mikre is like a coincidence. He's like telling to God, let's try. And I must say that it's even in our rabbis say they give 4 examples for people who are asking a question which was not shouldn't ask it, because who knows what they will get. 3 of them actually got what they wanted, and 1 didn't. But and Eliezer got what he wanted. In the end, he got Rivka, and she was from the right family. But the rabbi said the question itself, like he took a risk here, because maybe it would happen in the wrong way, and then he would be in a problem. So I want us to read a bit something from Me'achiloch. I've really brought here a very, very short text. And Me'achiloch is trying to explain what is this prayer that Eliezer was taking at the beginning of the mission that he was trying to do before this test that he was giving. So I will read this text from, and then we will talk about it. Me'achiloch on this Parsha. And my life shall be Sarah. It is in Taraket Brachot that every Chassid, which is like a righteous man, will pray to you at an appointed time. Now there is a question, what is this appointed time to pray to God? One say, this is woman, and one say, this is Torah. One said, this is death, and one said, this is lavatory. Here all the things mentioned are that a person is in doubt about something that is not in his hand and only need to pray to God for help. So, at the Me'achiloch, what he's saying is, there are situations that we need to pray. And those situations are usually when some person has a doubt. But I'm asking you, he's giving her example. When do we have doubts? If you want to marry a wife, regarding law, about death, and about lavatory, like the toilet. Which kind of doubts do we have on those topics that we need to pray to God? Usually those situations are very, very clear situations. Like usually a man knows that he wants to get married. So he needs to pray to God and to ask him to show him the way. And I think what we should maybe learn here from Eliezer is that many times in life we have situations that we feel we know exactly how things are supposed to look like. Eliezer, he got a mission from Abraham to go to a very specific place. He should have doubts. Eliezer, like Abraham told him exactly where he should go, why he should stop outside of the city, why he should go down from the camels and talk to God and do this whole situation. But what maybe we should learn is that we should pray to God not only when we have, but also when we're completely sure about what's going to happen. For example, I'm going to give an example from myself. If I know I need to give shiur, girls learning together at Monday, I'm preparing myself very, very well. I know exactly what I'm going to say. I'm preparing the paper. I'm preparing the question I'm going to ask you, the jokes, the examples, and I know exactly how it's going to look like. And then, like, I have no worries. I'm starting the class. I'm very comfortable that I know what I'm going to say. But let's say that when we finish this girls learning together, I called from a different program here and saying, yeah, someone canceled on us. Can you please come and teach something about, I don't know, how to find a good work. I don't know. I'm just making up right now. Then I will be really stressed because I was not prepared for it. This is last minute. I don't know what I'm going to teach. I would be really scared. And then standing in front of this class, I would say, oh God, please help me to find the right words. Be with me, that I will, because I will be in a situation that I'm pure. I don't know that I have this comfort situation. So very often we pray when we have a doubt. But how often we're very sure that everything is ready, we know exactly what we're gonna do, we know how it's gonna look like. How often do we say, God, help me, I don't know anything, when we're the holies? I'll give you another example. When we organize a wedding, usually we have this list, maybe Alina can tell you about. We have this list with these 200 points that you need to take care of when you organize this kind of a huge event. Not just the dress or the flowers, it's also color of the napkins and who sit next to, like the most stupid things. And you write everything and you have those lists online and you sit and you mark everything, like checked, everything is organized completely. But then when you already during the wedding, you figure out that you forgot to mention the grandma who passed away, parents were really hurt, or like, who knows what will happen. And the problem is when we're so certain that we took care of all the details, we very often forget that nothing is not in our hand. And maybe we should not be so secure. And this is what we're seeing here with Eliezer. He was sent very, very clear mission. And he's saying, I know what I need to do, but actually he's standing in front of God and saying anything without your help. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? Maybe I'm going to completely fail. And I think this is something which is very, very hard for us in this modern world today, because we are so used to being in control. It's like remote. That it's something which is so important for us to hold in our hands and to have the control on you know, switching the how do you call it in English? Like, we feel that we need to have the control in our hands. And for example, when we do surveys before elections, it's always going wrong. They always say that Trump going to lose, or in Israel that Bibi is going to lose. Like, it's always very, very clear what's going to happen. And they always making mistakes. But we'll keep doing those surveys because it's so important for us to know exactly what's going to happen, how things are going to look like. It's very important for us to be. And Eliezer is here teaching us, even when you know exactly how it's going to look like, you don't know anything. And this is the beginning that very, very often when we have, when we're trying to learn from God's character trait, then God has two opposites and he can hold both of them. And here it's like we demand the same thing from ourselves. Because we need to hold, from one hand, we should be able to be organized and to feel secure and to know what we're doing. We shouldn't be in a situation to prepare ourselves at all and we don't know what's going to happen, so let's not prepare. No, we should prepare ourselves and to feel that we know what we're going to do. But 1 minute, we should also say, without the help of God, we won't be here. The action itself that Eliezer is doing, when he decides to pray to God, he's going down from the camel. And this is camels at this time was like symbol of status. It's like having Ferrari today, maybe. When you have all things you're rich, you have something very strong. And what he's choosing to do, he's getting down from the camel. He's going down from his pride, and he's saying, I'm not controlling everything. And I'll give another example. A person to a date. So you can say, if he was to date, it's recommended before you go to a date with someone, you do those lists for yourself of all the things it's important for you to have this in person, to having this person, and you know it's important for you that he studies university and this languages, and that he likes traveling. You have the list of all the things. So let's say you're going to a date with someone you know who's fitting to all of. You did check again in all the on all topics. But then, at the moment before the date, you could say, why should I pray, right? 100% fitting to me, right? But no, this is exactly the moment when we should pray, because without the help of God, who knows if it will. Yes. Have any questions or something you want to say before we move on a bit? Okay. I brought here a text of a small prayer that we're supposed to say before we leave. A small text that we're supposed to say before we, not before, during our definitions in the, and we're supposed to say not a house and go out there a side of the street. I need to say things in definition when we speak. If you're going for a long way, this is a prayer we should say. I want us to read it together. How's this way showing us the same one. So, and with God, our God, should lead us in a peace and direct our step in peace and guide us in peace and support us in peace. And cause us to reach our destination in life, and one intends to return immediately, one adds, and return us in peace. Save us from every enemy, from robber and wild beasts on the truth, and from all kinds of punishments that rage come to the world. May you come the work of our hands, and me kindness and mercy in your eyes and in the eyes of all us. And those abundance, and hearken the our prayer, for you hear the prayers of all. Blessed are you God who hearkens to prayer. Let's say if you read this text, and this is the first time you read it, and you don't know who is saying it, do you think this person he knows the way? I would say if you read this text, usually you would say he had no idea. God, where I'm going, protect me from all the bad, I don't know, animals, beasts, robbers. In all ways, before we had Waze and Google Maps, many years ago, if a person from one place to another, he needed to have where he could, he gonna have this HA with this super student needs to take, and how long it will take from which place to which place he's going. So he was really planned in it. And then he's coming and saying his prayer. Why should we say that we're all planned. But again, we see that this prayer comes to teach us. We know when we have ways, who's telling us in a very, very specific detail where we're going to have the gas station and how exactly we're going to get there and which ways the planning. Some things can happen on the way, and this is so important to say it. I and I'm getting to the car in the morning, and I was there. It took 5 minutes, but then I'm stuck away, and things are not. I think the story of Eliezer comes to just need and difficult to find the right balance between those things. Because, for example, if we're again, if we feel all the time nothing is under our control, maybe something happens and actually be part of something, of actually create something. On the other hand side, so secure is also and very, very proud. So our work, I want the right balance between doing, not to be afraid of doing, because we know that things might work wrong, but to be very, very active, planning, but from the other hand side, open up to understand that things might go while it goes. So again, those two opposites between doing and believing that things will be good, but also knowing that we need the blessing from God. And in the most, in the places where the most secure is that things will be good, stop one before to pray. I want to ask you a question. I think the wife were bad today, so I don't know if you can actually participate, but it's a question that I was, how can we not be in a situation of being scared and actually be active when we know that every moment something can go wrong? So if any of you are actually be happy to hear what you think, and yeah.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
I think there is a delay. I was thinking about it today, and also about the Tfilat HaDerech, because we were traveling, and at some point we remembered, wow, we didn't say Tfilat HaDerech. And I was contemplating, we were already it's second day we're traveling, so on the one hand side, what's the point of saying it? We were doing just fine for 2 days. And on the other hand side, that's what we're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But then I stopped for a second and I thought, wow, how many, until now, Baruch Hashem, everything was fine and nothing bad happened to us. But I just imagined all the bad things that could happen. When you're trying, and even a small thing can really ruin your day if there is, I don't know, an accident on the road or many things can go wrong. So I thought, no, so many things can go wrong, I better say Tfilat HaDerech. So, and I think that maybe it is the point in the modern world to really remember that many things can go badly, because our nature is, and it's part of our mission as a human being, is to rule the nature, and we feel like we're really ruling it. And we have technology, we have all the advancements, but maybe for us it's the opposite. Not that we will be always afraid that something will go wrong. It's like what you were saying before, is that we never imagine that things can go wrong, and that we are too sure of ourselves. So, and I think maybe several generations before, when Tfilat HaDerech was an actual, pray for out of necessity, let's put it like this, when people were really afraid of their lives every time they left their little house, for them it was different and it had a different meaning. But I think for us, I really don't see a modern man being afraid. I think it's actually the lack of being afraid which is more relevant for us. So yeah, that's what I thought.
Thank you, Alina. Anyone else have thoughts about this topic? Do you feel you're afraid sometimes? You're on mute. You need to turn off the microphone.
I think Daniela is trying to say something, but I think she's on mute, no?
No,
I agree.
Daniela?
Yes, I was trying to say that we can't understand anything. I don't know if you hear.
We cannot really hear you well, unfortunately. We will sit together in the same room, and then hopefully we'll have, you can hear us and we can hear you. Okay, so that's it for today, unless someone else wants to share something. Thank you very much for joining me today to talk about this. And yes, Anna. Good night, Shabbat Tov. And yeah, let's talk soon. And
thank you, Rotem. Toda rabah.